Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Cruz and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to answer your frequently asked questions about the Line6 HX Stomp. So about 3 weeks ago, I put up a video, the Line6 HX Stomp versus the Kemper Profiler, and immediately got an amazing response. Everyone was interested in how they could either better the HX Stomp itself or how it compared directly to the Kemper. I've also followed up with plenty of videos, and in each video I seem to be getting a repetitive amount of questions, and I want to answer all of them. So I figured, let me put up a video where I can answer some of the more frequently asked questions, and hopefully you'll understand the HX Stomp a little bit better after watching this video. Question number 1. Which impulse responses should I buy? I completely understand, because in the world of impulse responses, there are so many, and it doesn't make very much sense for you to buy just one impulse response. You're going to want to buy some sort of bundle so that you can get a variety of different maybe cones, speakers themselves. Maybe they were recorded with different mics, different mic combinations. All of those things are really important to have, and you don't really know what's going to sound good until you actually try it and hear it for yourself. But when you download those bundles and it comes with dozens and dozens of IRs, it's a little bit intimidating and you don't really know where to start. So to help you guys get started, I've put a link in the description below of the IRs that I'm personally currently using right now. Now keep in mind, I've heard amazing things about a ton of different IRs that are out there. In fact, the #1 recommended IR pack was Ownhammer. But I haven't gotten around to trying those out yet. I've been using the Live Ready Sounds one. I'll put a link to exactly which pack I purchased, and I'll even put in the description which IR I'm currently using right now, because there are many in that pack. Question number 2. How does the Line6 HX Stomp really sit in a mix in a live situation? I put it to the test last week when I had a couple of events, and I was actually really impressed with how well it sat in a mix. In my opinion, there are some things you need to adjust a little bit differently from when you hear it on its own, right? So, and that's in every situation, whether you're using an amp, a Kemper, a Helix, a HX Stomp, or anything. You're gonna come up with warmer bedroom tones than you would normally need or require, and you're going to find that they get a little money and lost in a live situation. I'm very big on mid-range frequency. I think it's the exact frequency that was made for the guitar itself. It's a frequency that's not really being touched, only by the electric guitar, so take advantage of that. If you're having a hard time cutting through a mix, add mid-range frequency. And here's a little tip that I used. I actually put an EQ block after my amp and IR and dialed in more mid-range than I normally would from the amps, or that I could from the amps, because maybe the amps weren't giving me the EQ options to dial in or focus on mid-range. In regards to it sounding like an amp or feeling like an amp, look, you've already heard enough people say it does that, and it does it well. Question number 3, and this is kind of a complicated one. How are you connected to the HX Stomp? Though I explained this in other videos, I'll take a quick second to explain it again. I go into the HX Stomp mono. I also go out of it mono. The reason I do that is because I happen to work with maybe worship teams who don't always have access to giving me 2 different channels on their board. I always think it's a little bit unfair to assume that a sound person should understand your tone in an instant, and that split second that they meet you and hear you, they should know exactly how to take care of your needs and your sound and how to replicate that in the front of house. It's a little unrealistic. In the Stomp itself, I go into my compression, drives, and volume pedal, and then I go into the left mono in of the Stomp. On the side of the Stomp, it gives you an option, which is basically like an effects loop, to go send. I go out of the send into my wet effects, such as delays, and then out of my delays into the return of the Stomp. Then I go out of the Stomp into the front of house. Now in the HX Stomp itself, I Y-split my input signal. I go into 2 different amps. I don't go from one amp into another. I literally separate those amps, and then I bring them both back together in order to go back into one IR. It's not that I want to use two amps, it's just that I want to get a good sound. If 2 amps gives me that, great. If 3 amps gives me that, great. I don't care the method, I just want it to sound good. From the IR, then we go into a 10-band EQ. After all of that, then I put an effects loop in the line so that now my delays could be in the mix. Then at the very end of the chain, I put reverb. Question number 4, how do I tame some of that digital sound from the HX Stomp? I sort of answered this question already. There are a couple of things you could do, such as purchasing external IRs, impulse responses. I think they're a little bit better than the stock cabs that come in the Stomp itself. You can do EQ blocks to bring in the forefront, some frequencies that you are missing. But the biggest thing you need to do is to stop approaching it like if they were real amps. I've heard a lot of professional people and people who are highly regarded tell us, the community, that we should approach HX Stomp exactly how you would approach amps, and that is false information. You need to approach it in a very different way. You can't set your drives up the same way you would set it up going into an amp. You have to even be careful how you set your compression up. You have to be willing to adapt to the digital aspect of this product, and you're going to find better tones instantly. But if you keep trying to approach it the way you would approach a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe, then you're going to keep failing at getting the tones that you really love out of this thing. Approach the HX Stomp, or any digital product for that matter, whether it's a Kemper, a Helix, Axe Effects, IRs and internal like plugins from your DAW. Whatever you do, approach it differently, like a digital product that clips digitally and reacts digitally, versus a tubed amp that clips and reacts totally different. If you can get that mindset, then you'll be able to set up really great tones in no time. And last but not least, this is the #1 question that I've gotten over and over again. Are you going to release or sell your presets for the HX Stomp? I've thought long and hard about this. I wouldn't feel very comfortable releasing my preset without giving you the IR that I use, and I can't legally resell that IR. It belongs to Live Ready Sound. So I think I am going to do something where I'm going to release something for free, somewhat like the way Worship Tutorials did it, where they release their version of what their sound, but then they recommended that you purchase the IR that they used to cultivate this sound. So this week I'm gonna work on it. I think I'm gonna put something out there. I'll refer you to my website at jcruzproject.org, and we'll have a free download, and I'll figure something out to make it so that it's worth your while and downloading it. I hope this video has helped. If you have any more questions, be sure to leave them in the comment section. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, like, and check out some of my other videos. You might get some of the information that you're looking for out of them. My name is Jay Cruz. Thanks for watching, and until next time.